Can you see what my stained shirt says? I'm not trying to take my top off. I just wanted to show you that I am here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the very first podcast. This podcast is called This Time with Feeling. My name is Nandini, and I am so excited to be here in front of you and to try to be honest and talk with feeling. Now, I'm wearing a stained shirt. And for those of you who cannot see me on YouTube, because this is going to be available on other podcasting platforms, and you can check out the links in the description, I kind of look like Morticia Adams, but brown. I didn't really mean to look this way, but I wanted to be gray today, okay? I wanted to be gray because I find reality to be quite gray. Something triggered me having to do with someone coming into my life for a brief day, just one day, a person who I don't like to see at all, and just sort of dreading that sort of pulled my energy down, And then let's just say the news didn't help. Okay, the news has not been helping with keeping my energy up and my hope up about this world. And at the same time, every single thing I'm seeing around me, all messages I'm getting from nature, from my work, from the interactions I'm having with people, every single thing is telling me, Nandini, stay on the path of love. Stay on the path of honesty and of truth and of being humane, which of course I would be, right? Of course I would be, but what is that saying? It's basically saying don't lose hope. Don't lose hope and create things that can make a person feel hopeful. And there's nothing more powerful I've found than feelings. Feelings can really, really affect everything for you and for me, okay? So this podcast is a result of inspired action. What does inspired action mean? It means taking action on something that inspires you, okay? So there have been a lot of things that happened this week that have just made me feel like, Nandini, that's it. No more waiting for friends who are too camera shy, or for some perfect person I will connect on LinkedIn with, or whoever else. It's time to start the podcast today. Literally today, okay? So here it is, and here's the first episode. I always find that when I'm talking to someone very specifically, I tend to talk pretty soulfully, I talk with feeling. And this podcast is called This Time with Feeling because I really believe that a lot of us, when we're addressing the public especially, or we're talking to people who are strangers, we really tend to censor ourselves, right? We're afraid of stepping on people's toes, and we're afraid of, inciting someone. And there are, of course, those few people who actually actively try to upset other people or instigate something. I'm not one of those people. But I have found it to be a really great challenge for me to just speak openly, speak unfiltered. And it's been so suffocating, and it's just been me trying to wait and anticipate, when is this gonna happen? When am I gonna have a podcast? Who's gonna be my co-host? And I'm like, bro, me. I just have to do it. I have to do it myself. Now, a big thank you to a whole bunch of successful YouTubers I've been seeing this week. This week, I watched about 3 to 4 longer videos in very different genres by very different people to whom I normally watch. And these people are incredibly successful on YouTube. One of them was close to 1 million subscribers, which I consider to be pretty successful. Now, what were they actually saying on YouTube? What were they saying? They were saying garbage. They literally... YouTube has its own huge, variations of pseudo-intellectual stuff I was astounded at how basic people's arguments were. And I was just like, oh, is this the representation of people on YouTube who are successful and trying to be woke and trying to be progressive? Oh my gosh, no, I have to be on YouTube right now, okay? I have to be on here. And this first podcast that I'm releasing, this is not anything revolutionary. This is just an introduction. This is just me saying, I'm here now. This has started now because I've decided it's going to start right now. Okay, we all have that power. What are we going to talk about? You know what? I'll find out just as you do because this is completely unplanned, but there is one thing I want to talk about. There was an article that I read on the Good News Network, and that was the thing that really inspired me to just be like, come on, Nandini, you got to talk about it, you got to talk about it. So let's start with the article first. If you would like to read it yourself, the link is for the article is also in the description. But the article is called Broadcasting Audio of Healthy Reef Sounds Can Spur Degraded Coral to New Life. Oh my gosh, like just reading the title itself makes me feel really teary-eyed because this article talks about a method that I guess the Royal Society Open Science, I guess that is a publishing place perhaps, or who can I reference over here? New research from Woods Hole Oceanographic Institution shows that sound could potentially be a vital tool in the effort to restore coral reefs. When I was in 6th grade, I was around 11 or 12 years old. I was 11 actually, yes. And my teacher at the time, she introduced us to An Inconvenient Truth, which is a film, a documentary by Al Gore, which talked about climate change, and that became my mission in life. I wanted to save Earth. Why? Because Earth is my mother, and the sun was my father. I did not believe in religion at all, not even at that age, okay? But the Earth gave me, the Earth was home, the Earth is and was filled with marvels, you know? So, when I found out about the coral reefs just dying everywhere and how sensitive they are and how, like, you know, they sort of build up on each other, the polyps sort of, you know, once they sort of latch on to a surface, they can't move, right? Like these are living beings, living creatures that just can't move, and the water gets hotter and they just bleach, they just die out, they just, you know, they die and leave their skeletons behind. And it was so heartbreaking that I actually wrote a letter to the president of India at the time, because there was some sort of online portal where you could do that about this. I was like, what is India doing about the coral reefs in so-and-so area? Now, this research said, and I'm going to quote from this article, a healthy coral reef is noisy, full of croaks, purrs, grunts of various fish, and the crackling of snapping shrimp. Scientists believe that coral larvae use the symphony of sound to help them determine where they should live and grow. So replaying healthy reef sounds can encourage new life in damaged or degraded reefs. The power of sound. They literally blasted these two different sites. I mean, the article kind of talks about how they sent these sound waves in the ocean of a healthy reef, and sort of like these coral larvae, there was like a significant increase, I guess, on them latching on and like growing or something like that. I'm going to quote from the article again. Coral are immobile as adults, so the larval stage is their only opportunity to select a good habitat. Oh my gosh. And it just made me think that feelings and intentions are just so powerful. Let's literally think about ourselves. We were once simply one egg. We were one egg, and some floating DNA material came upstream and fertilized that egg And then we became two cells. We were once not even a fully living thing, right? Like there was once just one cell, and that cell has become this gray mess that you can see on your screen if you're watching this on YouTube, or this person whose voice you're hearing. Yes, this is a real person, it's not AI. If you're listening to this, in a podcast version. So, my goodness, like feeling and environment are so, so, so powerful. Community is so powerful. Music is the closest thing we have to magic. And we can all do magic, we can all create. To me, creation is magic, right? And I suppose if I say creation is magic, I suppose destruction is also magic, though I don't think that's a good kind of magic. So in this coral reef story, and it's not a story, it's a reality, right? I remember watching, I guess, The Blue Planet or maybe Planet Earth or something back when I was in middle school, and I found coral reefs to be one of the most inspiring things I'd ever watched, because they're so beautiful and colorful, and there's just so much life there. I mean, I love that they call it schools of fish, because you literally see this like this community, like this organic flow of all these fish sort of, following these rhythmic movements and diving in and out of different sea anemone and, corals to get away from the snapping big fish who are just trying to eat their tender meat, and it's just just the vision of it is so alive and so inspiring and so threatening at the same time. It made me feel like if I could be anything, I would want to be a sea animal, but at the same time I'd be pretty scared of it too. So I am truly inspired by nature. And I'm going to talk more about things that inspire me on this podcast. And every time I talk, I'm going to talk with feeling, because feeling is everything. Feeling really is everything. And this podcast is going to showcase it. Feeling is trapped also in everything. So another part of my journey here on YouTube, as well as a person who is a life transformation coach, a mindset transformation coach, is I'm moving into the arena of letting go of physical objects, especially the ones in which we have a lot of our feelings and emotions trapped and that are keeping us from progressing forward in life. And when I say forward, I just simply mean in the direction we want to be going, right? So this podcast is a new platform for me to reach you, and I'm going to try to do that with feeling and do it fearlessly. I want to talk to you with the kind of openness and honesty I kind of only reserve for myself and maybe one or two friends. Like this is the space where I can just be, and I'm going to give you guys everything that will hopefully make you feel more connected to each other. And I want to leave you feeling really connected and really good. I myself right now, I'm community-less. I have no community. As I'm recording this, I have close to, I would say, 350 subscribers or so. Isn't that a beautiful thing? Oh my gosh, I am in awe of the fact that I have so many people who are interested in what I'm saying. And I know that number might go down after this, or it may shoot up. Who knows? I don't know. But I would love to just give, like today, did I mention I've been really suffering with anxiety for about a week. And it has been a little tough on me because I was feeling really good for several months, okay? Really, I was on it. I was, taking steps forward with guidance. I have coaches who are helping me literally even now. Like, I'm in all these programs. I am, doing work that is pretty fulfilling and earning me money. And I'm also making videos like a crazy person. I am studying all about love by bell hooks as well, and I need to just read a chapter on that for the next podcast. Sorry, the next video. So there's so many things that I've been doing to fuel happiness and hope. And then all of a sudden, something triggered me this week. Because I know that I'm going to see someone I don't want to see. And it's going to happen this week. And if I wanted to, I could have avoided it. But I decided, no, I'm gonna stick by it. Like, I'm gonna face it, right? But my gosh, has it really been a trigger to just suck down my motivation? Like, the amount of junk food I've been eating all of a sudden, the number of hours I've just been binge watching stuff on YouTube. Oh my goodness, like, it has been quite a lot. And I'm not, one thing I decided to do once I realized why I've sunk into such bad habits again, I realized I have to treat myself with tenderness and just give myself whatever I want. Because only when I fill myself with compassion and love can I actually decide to move a step forward. And I'm not going to be harsh on myself. Also, like, it's a delicate balance between being gentle and kind versus just allowing garbage, like just allowing really bad behavior, right? So, I mean, it reminds me of my teacher's beautiful Buddhist quote, which is, be kind to yourself, be wisely kind to yourself, okay? So I'm changing it from kind to wisely kind, and also realizing, that even my negative behaviors these days is my way, it's my mind's way of protecting myself from just not feeling good. And at the same time, I'm not feeling good, right? So I've taken this step to launch this podcast. I'm going to talk with feeling. I'm going to invite some guests as well to speak. And I would love to hear what you would like me to talk about and who you would like me to talk with. What kinds of people should I be bringing on? Anyway, it's too early right now for you to even know what this is going to be. I myself feel really good about it, but I also don't know what this is going to be. So this is a nice fertile time to just do and to just be. And I'm just so happy and glad that I decided to put on a ton of makeup on my face and face the camera and say, this time with feeling, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining. And I'm really excited to be on this journey and to share it with you. Okay, please don't lose hope, because if you lose hope, I lose hope, okay? We gotta keep the hope up, and we're gonna do it. Pew. Feeling is everything. I love you. Take care. But before I go, there is one thing I definitely want to know from you, and that is, if we're going to say, be kind to yourself, but be wisely kind to yourself, I want you to tell me, what is one thing that you tend to do when you start feeling really anxious or really, down, not good? And so mention that thing first, and then how would you wisely be kind to yourself instead of doing that sort of thing that seems like it's kind of kind, but it's not very wisely kind? Let me know. Okay, so an example for me, I was buying a whole lot of junk food and just stuffing it in my mouth and binge watching shows. So I decided that I actually love the taste of really healthy food. And even if I don't have the motivation to cook it, and especially to wash dishes, I really don't like washing my own dishes. I decided that no matter how much it costs, if I'm going to spend money on junk food anyway, I should actually spend money on buying really healthy food. So today I had one of the most delicious salads. It was so good. And it actually didn't cost that much. I'm going to keep doing that. I'm going to be wisely kind to myself in that I know overall it's not good to order food because, it comes in packaging and packaging is really wasteful. Even if it's not plastic packaging, packaging is still wasteful, right? But nevertheless, in this moment in time, my body needs nourishment and I need to pull myself out energetically from being in a very gray space, which is why I'm wearing so much gray because I feel really gray, okay? I feel like clouds are around me and I just want sunshine. I want hope. So that salad, that was sunshine. That was hope. I hope you've understood the point I was trying to illustrate, which is, my action to be wisely kind would be, hey, well, if you're gonna order junk food anyway, instead of junk food, just order healthier food, and that will energetically lift you up and make you feel good about yourself as well, rather than eating a whole bunch of crap. So I would love to know, what are your self-sabotaging behaviors that you sort of fall into anytime you don't feel that good? And how could you replace them with something that is doable and kind? Okay, doable and kind. All right, that's it for now. And you'll hear from me in the next one with feeling. Bye bye.